Hey there, real estate professional. Keir here. Super excited to share with you this week's topic, which is really, really important as we start to get into the last part of this year of 2020. And that is, how can you create a $1 million agent mindset? Have your best year ever next year and really set yourself up for success. So for me, goal setting, visioning, planning the next year is a serious endeavor. It's a process and a methodology that I've developed and undertaken each year for the past 5 years or so with great results. It's helped me achieve things beyond what I would have ever thought imaginable by being really methodical about how I conceptualize and plan to achieve great, big, scary, and bold goals. And then what is the strategy process for developing a plan to underpin that to make sure that we take it from goal and vision to actual reality and achievement, right? So what I typically do is start this at the end of November. I started a little bit earlier this year for a few reasons because I wanted to get a head start on next year. This year, 2020, right, was such a crazy year. Upheaval, disruption, pandemic, market turbulence, election, you name it, which, by the way, today's election day. Get out and vote if you haven't yet. But it was a crazy year, right? It's not how any of us thought we were going to start this decade. But it's okay because the smart people, the opportunists, the ones that could see around the corner, took this year and invested in themselves, invested in their training, their skills, their future, started to plan and pivot and adapt to this new world, to this new economy, this new consumer, and are starting to have a really great rebound from what was arguably the hardest spring in the real estate market, right, with all the uncertainty and pausing that we've ever seen. Now we've seen historic rises and a strong bull market across markets all over the United States with demand we haven't seen before, unprecedented liquidity, super low, historically low interest rates, and a lot of buyer activity. So this is the time. You have to seize the opportunity to make hay when the getting's good, right, as they say. That's right now. So here's my process. Here's how you develop a $1 million agent mindset. One is you learn to think and dream and envision really, really big in ways that scare you, that make you uncomfortable, that make you say, there's no way I can do these numbers. But here's the thing. You can't do those numbers ever until you remove that thought from your mind, until you remove that way of thinking, that way of short selling, undercutting, and shortcutting your own potential and your capability. The reason why you need to do this is because what we think and believe is what we can achieve, right? Napoleon Hill said that in Think and Grow Rich. What we think and believe, we can also not achieve, right? It goes both ways. So if we don't think and believe that we can achieve a goal, right, an objective or some kind of crazy big vision for ourselves, our careers, and our lives, we're never going to do it. So that's step one. Remove the negative self-talk, the negative thoughts, the negative beliefs about yourself, and step into your greatness. Step in to your ability. Step into your true potential and realize that you can achieve anything in this world. And I know that for a fact because I've worked with agents, brokers, investors, and entrepreneurs from all over the world, from all different places that have achieved some great things, that have grown past their wildest dreams. And you can too, but you have to believe it first. 2, create space so that you can create the vision, right? So by that, I mean typically get away from your day-to-day for a day or two. I usually do that by going to a different state, going up to the mountains. I went to Vermont last weekend to start that process. For me, it's a multi-day thing. I have dozens of pages of planning docs from next year's to 5-year plan to 10-year plan to different resource lists to financial plan and projections for my different, 5 different 7-figure businesses to the actual budgets that correlate to that, to the actual things I need to invest in, to the initiatives and milestones. It's a huge process, right? Just focus, though, on the first things. First things first. Create space in your life. Get creative. Get off the grid a little bit and start thinking about what's really important to you. What do you want to achieve next year in 2021? What do you want to do? And then why do you want to do it? What is your big why and driving force? What's going to pull you, not just push you, but pull you through the inevitable setbacks, the obstacles that you will encounter, that market when it does check and swing? What's going to pull you through that? Is it your kids, providing something bigger and better for them, right? Is it significance, trying to really build a reputation of impact? What is it? What's going to help pull you through that? You need to define that. Then I want you to start to think about what are the resources necessary? What are the key performance indicators, the key KPIs that will need to happen for you to achieve that goal? And if it's $1 million in GCI, which is awesome, and I know so many agents that have done that, starting at 50, 75, 100,000, right? What does that look like? We have to think like a CEO, remember. We have to step into this as a business owner. This is not a hobby. You're not doing this part-time if you're going to be successful in real estate as an agent and broker. And you got to stop looking at it as just a practice where you're wearing all the different hats. In order to be $1 million agent, we have to start thinking like a CEO and a business owner, which means we have to delegate, automate, and systematize everything. We have to be willing to give up some control and money to bring on other people, to do other things and functions of the business so that we can free up time and headspace and focus on the 3 or 4 key things that we as business owner, leader, and top producing agent should be focused on. And that's really business development, new leads, closing those leads, listing appointments particularly, and negotiating contracts, supporting the team, and recruiting more people. Those are really the 3 areas that we should be focused on, right? Because that's what's driving the business. That's what's driving top line growth. Obviously, there's other things that are very important, but those can be delegated. But typically the rainmaker, that's you, needs to be hyper-focused on those things. Building client relationships, right? Growing the listing inventory, contracting, negotiating, and closing properties, and growing and supporting the team and the culture you want, right? To achieve big things. That's what has to happen for $1 million agent mindset and $1 million agent reality in your business. So I hope this inspired you, this got you thinking and excited about next year, goal setting, building that $1 million focus mindset in business. And if it did, let me know. Drop me a comment or a like. Send me a message. Share this with another agent that could really benefit from this. As always, I love coming to you with some insight, some impact, some ideas, some inspiration each week. Hopefully this helps you in some way. And again, to your success, your happiness, and your freedom. We'll talk to you next week.